7 signs that you are emotionally and mentally tired. 7 signs that you are mentally and emotionally tired. 7. You look inwards rather than outwards, someone who is mentally ill or depressed. When you are emotionally exhausted, you are more likely to focus on things that reflect how you feel on the inside. Then take a look at the overall picture. Even when it shouldn't, everything becomes about them. People will also become more isolated and detached from the rest of the world. They cease conversing with their friends and family and withdraw within themselves when they are alone. With their own ideas. In actuality, one of the methods to treat depression is to be near people and talk to them. Depression or mental and emotional weariness are examples of mental and emotional exhaustion. They don't, however, to someone who is suffering from it. That is how I see it. They regard social interaction as an additional load that will exacerbate their stress. Is there a link between annoyance, depression, and mental exhaustion? 6. Irritation. Is there a link between irritation, depression, and mental exhaustion? Yes, there is. Depression and mental weariness are, in fact, inextricably linked. When everything is in place, when everything in someone's life is going well, they do not stress or worry about anything. However, when a person is unable to cope with certain situations, whether small or large, they become irritated. It is the straw that breaks the camel's back when it becomes a pattern. The anxiety. Because it has now become a part of his or her daily life, it has become too much for the individual. They are irritated because they are unable to break the cycle. One of the reasons for this is that this happens as a result of being aware of certain events. A car accident is an example of this. A person's mind can be triggered by certain events or places. When you recall a specific location, you associate a stressful or traumatic situation or event with how it made you feel. As a result, if you are constantly under the same stress in your life, you will become mentally and emotionally exhausted. Tired. It could be linked to a traumatic event if someone is easily irritated by something. Event or something that has caused them undue stress or trauma in the past. Do any of these warning signs ring a bell with you? Keep an eye on things. To learn about some more mental and emotional tiredness warning indicators. 5. Lack of motivation. A person's lack of motivation could indicate that they are suffering from a state of mental exhaustion. People become unmotivated in life for a variety of reasons. I am exhausted. Consider those who enjoy running marathons. If you are a sprinter or a runner, if you run a marathon, you will not want to run again once you have finished it. You will be depleted as a result. Emotional and mental motivation are very similar. If you are one of them, you become unmotivated when you are too tired to feel motivated. Many people suffer from mental and emotional exhaustion. Anhedonia is a common symptom of depression. When people experience anhedonia, they become depressed. They have lost interest in activities they used to enjoy, as well as their ability to feel pressure. People who are emotionally exhausted may no longer enjoy doing the things they used to enjoy. Things they used to enjoy doing, they may find it difficult to get out of bed. Performing at work or going about their daily routine, they could also be feeling. They may become unmotivated to interact with others and isolate themselves from those around them. 4. Sleeping disorders. Sleeping disorders can be a symptom of depression, as well as other mental and emotional problems. Exhaustion. When someone first suspects that they are depressed or mentally and emotionally ill, they should seek professional help. One of the first things they notice when they are exhausted is that their sleep has been disrupted. There are 2 features of sleep that can be a red flag. Oversleeping is a condition in which a person sleeps excessively, or if someone does not get enough sleep. Why cannot individuals go asleep when they are tired? The biological rhythm of people who suffer from depression or mental and emotional weariness is disrupted. Interrupted. Seasonal affective disorder, SAD, is also linked to depression. This is the time when the clock strikes midnight or the time changes, and the days grow shorter, people become depressed. Also, if you are taking antidepressants, you will need to get enough sleep. If the body does not get enough rest, the medication will be ineffective. Many people who suffer from depression sleep excessively or insufficiently. They might I have been sleeping all day and have not had the motivation to get out of bed. On the contrary, their depression may interfere with their sleep and keep them awake all night. Mental and emotional exhaustion can manifest itself in a variety of ways, including sleep disturbances. Many people suffering from depression all over the world are affected. 3. Lack of patience, as mentioned earlier in the video, irritation, frustration, 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 frustration. This, along with a lack of patience, is a common sign of depression and mental illness. As well as emotional exhaustion, irritability, and a lack of patience are common in young people. Whereas, with someone much older, sadness is more prominent. The reason why people frequently become enraged, short with their colleagues and family is because they are overwhelmed. They do not want to talk, because their mind is in a million different places and they cannot concentrate on just one thing. The small things become big things, and big things become larger. This can be overwhelming for someone who is stressed and anxious as a result of mental and emotional exhaustion. 2. Disruption of appetite. The body has certain hormones and neurotransmitters. And when we are hungry, our bodies produce a certain number of them. However, when there is a hormonal imbalance in the body, such as low serotonin levels, it causes all of the hormones and neurotransmitters involved in this process to malfunction. This causes a loss of appetite. Both leptin and ghrelin are important hormones in the body. A person's appetite is regulated when you have a lot of leptin in your blood. It is a sign that you are fat. When your ghrelin levels are high, your appetite is reduced, and when your ghrelin levels are low, your appetite is increased. Many people who are exhausted mentally and emotionally, they begin to lose weight as a result of a decrease in appetite. On the contrary, to cope with their anxiety, some people may begin to overeat. 1. Sadness. Sadness is more commonly associated with the elderly. Why do people do it? When people are depressed or mentally and emotionally exhausted, they become sad because they cannot handle it. The stress that goes along with it when a person is both mentally and emotionally exhausted, he or she is said to be mentally and emotionally exhausted. Their minds are racing with stress and anxiety. This overwhelming sensation results in people are prone to breaking down and crying until they are unable to release any more emotion. When people are unhappy, their serotonin levels drop dramatically. Many depressed folks are also extremely sad. They might feel something. They have a sense of hopelessness that makes them feel out of control of their lives. Treating depression, mental, and emotional exhaustion. If you are suffering from depression, mental, or emotional exhaustion, there are certain things you can do to treat mental and emotional tiredness. Physical activity and meditation and mindfulness are effective treatments for depression, as well as mental and emotional tiredness. However, when someone is depressed, they may have a lack of motivation as well. As a result, it is a lot easier said than done. It is critical to look past the lack of motivation and see what is really going on. That exercise and meditation have physical health benefits that will not only help with this condition. However, it can also aid in the prevention of other health problems. Aside from exercise and meditation, people should consider talk treatments, in which they either discuss their problems or have them discussed with them. They may seek help from friends and family, or they may consult a psychologist or therapist. After a long, stressful day at work, you come home to a crowded house with children running around, leaving a mess. A person's mental and emotional state can be severely harmed by a mess in their path. However, as we are born with this emotional and mental weariness, as well as depression. Is it trauma-related, or is it something else entirely? Doctors believe it is a combination of the two. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that is present at birth and is responsible for binding to brain receptors. It is possible for people to have genetic mutations and be born with genes that are defective. High quantities of serotonin are produced. Alternatively, they may produce insufficient serotonin. People with low serotonin levels may be able to function normally in their daily lives. However, it only takes a few stressful or traumatic events for them to become depressed. or you are mentally and emotionally spent. Mental health is a serious matter, and if you believe you may be suffering from it, you should seek help immediately. If you think you might be depressed, see a doctor for help. Having stated that, it is critical to recognize sadness and mental and emotional exhaustion's warning signals. What other clear, and not so obvious, symptoms do you think there are? Are you tired of your mental and emotional exhaustion? Let us know in the comments section below. Have you enjoyed this video? Subscribe to our channel by pressing the like button. If you would like to see more videos like this. Thanks for taking the time to watch.